Welcome to Xiao Voice. Continuing from the previous episode 144. The invisible spiritual storm rotated around Tien J. His body was floating through the air while wave after wave of strange ripples were continuously formed around his body. His indifferent eyes turned to the shocked Bing Fu, but he did not say anything. Instead, his body moved and mysteriously disappeared. Bing Fu's heart immediately turned cold the instant Tien J disappeared. His body hurriedly withdrew as he loudly cried out, "This friend, the old me is Bing Fu from the Ice River Valley. The matter today is unrelated to you. Please do not interfere in today's matter on account of the Ice River Valley. The Ice River Valley will provide you a great reward as thanks after this matter is over." There was a threat of panic that was difficult to hide in Bing Fu's cry. This elite 8-star Do Zong, who had just appeared, completely turned the situation around. He could not understand why a little fellow would possess such a terrifying lineup with him. Ice River Valley? Is it very great? This alone cannot deter the old me. The space in front of Bing Fu fluctuated after his voice sounded. Tien J's figure strangely appeared. He smiled faintly at the Bing Fu before he swung his palm in a gentle manner. This palm might appear weak, but Bing Fu felt a heartfelt chilliness. The Do Chi within his body completely erupted at this moment. Layer after layer of icy cold armor was formed on the surface of his body from the cold air that lingered around it. The armor was snow-white in color. It might appear crystal clear and weak, but its defensive strength was impressive. Of course, this kind of strength was not worthy of being mentioned in the eyes of Tien J. Although he currently only possessed the strength of an 8-star Do Zong, his knowledge was that of his Do Zun self back then. A 6-star Do Zong was unworthy of any of his attention. Bang! The palm gently landed on the ice armor on Bing Fu's body without a care of the world. A majestic spiritual strength surged out in a flood-like manner. Crack! That firm ice armor's defenses did not hold up in the face of this vast and mighty strength. The palm fell and crack lines spread. After which, the ice armor emitted a cracking sound as it burst apart. Grug! The ice armor was shattered and Bing Fu's expression instantly turned pale. A mouthful of fresh blood carried a chilly air as it was spat out. His body flew backward after that. Bing Fu's expression turned savage as he flew backwards. His eyes were red as they glared at Tien J. Immediately, he roared, "Bing He, lead the others and kill that brat." Not far behind Bing Fu, Bing He gradually recovered from the shock brought by Tien J. He heard Bing Fu's cry and could only grit his teeth. After which, he waved his hand and spoke to the dozens of elite Ice River Valley disciples behind him. "Follow me. We must capture the woeful poison lady at all cost and kill that brat." The dozens of Ice River Valley disciples glanced at Tien J in the sky with fearful eyes after hearing this. After which, they turned toward the other battleground in the mountain stream. Bing Yuan was already showing signs of being defeated under the attack of the Earth Demon puppet. He could not spare any effort to pay attention to the change in the situation of this place. "Why aren't all of you attacking?" Bing He let out a stern cry when the Ice River Valley disciples hesitated. Upon hearing his cry, the disciples from the Ice River Valley shivered. After which, they hurriedly voiced their acknowledgement in a respectful manner. Bing He nodded his head with a gloomy expression when he saw this. His foot pressed against the empty air and his body shot toward Xiao with lightning-like speed. Many Ice River Valley disciples hurriedly activated all of the Do Chi within their bodies, turning into many colorful glows that surrounded Xiao. Bing Fu, who was in the air, saw Bing He's group taking action. After which, his eyes were turned to Tien J. A dark, ruthless expression flashed across it. A cold aura once again surged within his body. He took the initiative to rush over and get entangled with Tien J. In this current situation, it was likely that only by capturing Xiao would they be able to get the puppet and the mysterious spiritual body to surrender. Otherwise, they would only end up dead. Xiao looked at the people from the Ice River Valley rushing over from the edge of the mountain stream. A cold smile surfaced on his face. He turned his head to the little fairy doctor and softly ordered, "Leave them to me. Do not intervene." The little fairy doctor nodded slightly. The leader of this group, Bing He, was a 2-star Do Zong. Other than him, there were quite a few Do Huangs. However, Xiao should be able to deal with them all with his strength. Xiao Yan's foot slowly stepped forward. His hands quickly formed numerous strange seals as he did so. Immediately, an illusionary figure rushed from between his brows. It fluctuated and formed Xiao Yan's appearance. This was the 3000 lightning illusionary body that Xiao Yan had practiced. After the tempering at the Heaven Mountain Blood Pool, its current strength should be at the peak of the Do Huang class. Although he wouldn't dare to say that he could deal with Bing He using this, it was not a difficult task to block the other Ice River Valley's disciples. Go! Xiao Yan flicked his finger and the spiritual avatar beside him nodded. His body moved and a silver glow flashed under his feet. He disappeared in a flash. The next time he appeared, he was already behind Bing He. After which, he blocked the many Ice River Valley's disciples. The spiritual avatar that had suddenly appeared caused Bing He to be startled. Immediately, his eyes turned slightly cold. His gaze stared at Xiao Yan as he spoke with a cold smile. Brat, you have quite a number of tactics. However, with this one-star Do Zong strength of yours, you are still no match for the old me. A shocking ice-cold Do Qi slowly surged out of Bing He's body after his voice sounded. Cold air lingered over his 10 fingers. After which, they transformed into 10 sharp ice pricks. If word of what happens today reaches the Ice River Valley, you will no longer be able to stay in this pill region. Bing He let out a dense laugh. His feet stepped through the empty air, and his body transformed into lightning as he shot toward Xiao Yan while carrying a shockingly chilly air. Xiao Yan merely shook his head slightly as he looked at Bing He, who was rushing over. This person was merely a 2-star Do Zong. Xiao Yan had personally killed such a person before he had advanced to the Do Zong class. There was even less need to discuss this. Boom! Bing He's figure flashed. He appeared in front of Xiao Yan, and he revealed a dark vicious expression in his eyes. His fist that was covered with ice pricks smashed toward Xiao Yan's chest in a vicious manner. The fist that contained a cold air suddenly arrived within Xiao Yan's dark black eyes. However, he merely revealed a cold smile. His hand spread out and a jade-green flame slowly surged with a puff sound. Kai, the fist that was filled with ice pricks accurately struck Xiao Yan's palm. However, the ice pricks on it instantly melted when he did so. Even the shockingly cold aura that the fist contained seemed to have met its nemesis at this moment as it quickly scattered. Without the support of the cold air, this punch from Bing He immediately had its strength greatly reduced. It even failed to force Xiao Yan back a single step. A 2-star Do Zong of the Ice River Valley is actually so weak. Xiao Yan's hand was just like a vice grip as he firmly grabbed Bing He's fist. He gently shook his head and his voice contained faint ridicule. Due to the heavenly flame, he was completely immune to the cold force from the Ice River Valley. Disbelief surged into Bing He's eyes when he saw his attack was so easily blocked by Xiao Yan. His eyes suddenly shrank when he saw the jade-green flame that lingered over Xiao Yan's palm. Immediately, he screamed, "Heavenly flame?" That's right. Xiao Yan smiled. The chillness in his smile was exceptionally dense. His palm curled and tightened into a fist. After which, he swung his arm forward. Octane blast! His punch violently smashed into Bing He's body and a shocking hidden force entered him in a lightning-like manner while possessing a wild and violent heat. The icy cold Do Qi within Bing He's body was completely without resistance under the hidden force of this heavenly flame. A chi-chi sound was emitted as the Do Qi miserably fled. Grug! The chaotic flow of Do Qi within his body caused Bing He to spit out a mouthful of fresh blood. Immediately, he clenched his teeth and did his best to maneuver all the Do Qi within his body. After which, the Do Qi swiftly agglomerated on his hand. An increasing amount of ice-cold Do Qi gathered. One could see a thick layer of ice being formed on Bing He's hand. This ice was crystal clear, appearing just like an icicle. Moreover, there was a serpent-like line on the ice that wiggled like it was alive. Ice serpent arm! Bing He's face was bright red as a low roar surged from his throat. The cold air around Bing He instantly surged after his roar sounded. The strength within his arm also increased by multiple times as this occurred. Little bastard! Receive a punch from me if you got the guts. Bing He's eyes was filled with a crazy killing intent as his face turned red. A furious cry was emitted before he threw his punch forward. One could see the surrounding air swiftly agglomerate into many ice cubes after he threw his fist forward. This cold air caused the moisture within the air to turn into ice cubes. The shocking cold air rushed over. However, Xiao Yan's expression did not change. A jade-green flame surged out of his body like a volcano. After which, it gathered onto his right fist in a lightning-like manner. Within a couple of breaths, it had agglomerated into a half-foot large jade-green fire wolf. Xiao Yan did not hesitate any longer after the fire wolf was formed. He threw his fist forward. The fire wolf roared out like rolling waves of water on Xiao Yan's fist. The frightening temperature vaporized the cold air that had come over. After which, it violently collided with Bing He's arm the next instant. An air wave scattered all around in a ring-like manner after the two collided. The surrounding large rocks emitted cracking sounds and formed numerous cracks with a cracking sound. This collision continued for merely an instant before that Bing He discovered that the ice on his hand swiftly melted with a shocked expression. A chillness flashed through Xiao Yan's eyes when he sensed the stalemate between both parties. The strength on his arm surged. Grug. Another force once again surged out. Finally, it broke apart the ice on Bing He's hand. Ice fragments scattered in all directions. A paleness surged onto Bing He's face in the face of this heavy blow. His footsteps swiftly shifted back. Finally, they violently collided with a large rock. A mouthful of fresh blood was spat out. After which, he raised his head. His face was filled with shock. He really had difficulty imagining that a one-star Dozong could unleash such a frightening fighting strength. While Bing He was struggling to stand up once again, a figure appeared in front of him in a ghost-like manner. His toes gently pressed on his forehead, causing Bing He's entire body to immediately stiffen. The people from the Ice River Valley are only at this level.